Okay, before we continue on in our Father's Word, I want to talk to you a little bit about August the 14th. Now, that's when the closest planet alignment was in 2024. In the east-northeast sky, at any time after 1:30 p.m., there will be an exceedingly close pairing of Jupiter and Mars. Now, what happened when the dog star Sirius, Mars and Jupiter all lined up? Well, it led those wise men to the birth of the Messiah. Yeah, that's what happened when the dog star Sirius is the dog star, the brightest star in the skies. It's the closest and the brightest of all the stars. Now, Orion the hunter is where you got the little zig on the last pyramid. The Orion's belt and the dog star right next to each other, so you can see them at this time of year in August the 14th. And what happened? That's right, it led the wise men to Bethlehem, the birth of Messiah, conceived by the Holy Spirit, December 25th. 9 months later, born September 29th, the first day of the Feast of the Tabernacles, Kuth, the booths. And then on the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles, the Christ child was circumcised according to Jewish law. And then 6 months before then, Passover Day, John the Baptist born. John the Baptist was 6 months older than Jesus Christ. Mother Mary's mother and Elizabeth's mother were sisters. They were Levites. So we know the birthday or the conception day of John the Baptist because of the 8th course of Abiyu. Now, Elizabeth's husband Zacharias was a Levite priest. So we know the conception date of John the Baptist, and we know that he was born on Passover, and we know that Jesus was born September 29th. So it all adds up. All you got to do is read the book. Now, I'm going to start out here. This is Leviticus 4, verse 17. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, and that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour it out, all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this, and the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler hath sinned, and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or is his sin wherein he had sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offerings before the Lord. It is a sin offering, and the priest shall take the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offerings. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of a peace offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him, as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it as a female, without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offerings. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the land is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Now this is Leviticus chapter 5. And if a soul sin and bear the voice of swearing, and it is a witness, whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not know, utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or the carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he shall also be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whosoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be, that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it shall be hid from him. When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of goats, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass, which he hath committed, 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall he be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to that manner. And the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he not be able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar. Of course.